Welcome from myself and from Manchester Metropolitan University and from the partnership that forms the AI Foundry. Some of you may already be aware of one of our earlier projects, and the AI Foundry is a new initiative that fits into a growing family of projects. We started about 2 years ago with the Cyber Foundry, which was a £6 million funded project to support SMEs in the Greater Manchester area to grow their business through the application of cybersecurity. So working with SMEs throughout the Greater Manchester area to look at where and how cyber security and the adoption of good cybersecurity processes and practices could really enhance their business and enhance the sort of products and direction they wanted to work in. The Cyber Foundry has been incredibly successful. It's supported, or will support by the end of it, nearly 600 businesses. It will have worked directly with about 400 and taken about 45 of those through into actual technical development to bring new products to market, to create new jobs and really grow and develop our area. One of the success stories from the Cyber Foundry has been very much how it's built a community around this space as well, integrating with GMCA, but also with the recent move of GCHQ into the city, and with things like the Cyber Resilience Centre to create a connected set of services where we can not just provision and support the SMEs ourselves, but also signpost and direct them into the other parts of the ecosystem that can really help develop and move products forward. The AI Foundry is our latest Foundry project. It's just starting up now, so we're right at the start of it. And again, it's a £6 million funded project running for about 3 years. And the intention here is really to take the same sort of business model as we took with the Cyber Foundry, which was to support businesses, to really help them to understand the technology, and in some cases really work with them to develop those into businesses. But rather than a cyber security focus, we're now looking at an artificial intelligence focus. This is a partnership between 4 of our great Northwestern universities, so Manchester Metropolitan, University of Manchester, University of Salford, and Lancaster University. And from that, what we bring into this is all of our academic research and expertise, all of the knowledge exchange activity that we do, to give access both in terms of developing greater awareness, but also developing tools and technologies, prototypes that can drive a business forward. So in essence, we're funded by the European Regional Development Agency, which means that we can offer services at no cost to the SMEs. And it's a collaboration before those four great Northwestern universities. We're very strongly supported by the Greater Manchester Combined Authority, who in essence have been our fifth partner throughout. And with the recent move of GCHQ to the city, these projects have become hugely important to them and something that they're very interested in and actively support. So we see a strong level of support from the big players in the city environment, and we can use that to help support the SMEs that we're working with. The AI Foundry is going to work with SMEs across 4 key themes. So the key areas for us, one is around advanced materials and manufacturing. How can we support more intelligent and smarter use of technology in the building of materials and manufacturing systems that really extend the commercial advantage that we have as a city? Clean growth is very much about making our city grow, but doing it in a sustainable way and utilising emerging and evolving technologies in the AI space that can really help that. We're very interested in digital and creative media and where we can apply the technology spaces into there, and perhaps most importantly, particularly during the activities that we're currently going through and the restrictions we have, looking at how we can really innovate in the health space and create services and tools and products that really support us in what we're doing. The project has 2 key phases of activity, and the first phase of the activity is really focusing on the business development, looking at how we can inform and educate on what AI is capable of and how it can support, but also working with you as SMEs to look at how we can integrate it into your business. What a business strategy for growth built on AI technologies is, and how we can then develop the products and the jobs that come from that. So key aims for us in terms of business support, we're looking to support at least 400 local SME businesses, developing a much greater awareness in what AI can do for them, developing their business plans and exploring the strategy for growth. And this is the first phase of our project. In essence, it's where we welcome the SMEs into the project family. It's where we start to develop those activities and work with small groups of SMEs to really focus on what they need. And we have a dedicated business support team to be able to do that. Following on from the first aim, we then have our technical assistance phase, where we're looking to work with around 50 businesses who come through that business support process to develop AI technology for them. So these are businesses selected through the business support process where we can really identify a technical innovation that can be put into place that we can prototype and bring to a near to market position. Working with our university-based teams to support the R&D. Each university that has a dedicated technical team, 2 to 3 members of staff who are paid by the project to work with these businesses on a 3-month technical development and innovation activity that will build and develop products to a point of an R&D prototype that can then be integrated. And the aim is really to develop and deliver prototype systems that enhance new products to market and new jobs to the market. Again, this is funded within the project scheme, so it's at no cost to the business, but it's part of the activity that we're providing and we're supporting industries with. So in summary of our process, and I do recognise the process map is a little on the small side, but as we bring companies into the AI Foundry, what we're looking at is a recruitment and eligibility checks. I'll talk about eligibility a little more in detail, but in essence, it's an SME that is registered and exists within the Greater Manchester City region. And once we're certain that you're eligible for the project and the support under the funding scheme we have, we start on the phase 1 activity where we look at an induction into the project. We start to look at how we can develop marketing plans, what sort of AI technologies are appropriate. These are done through business workshops. It's a 12-hour support activity with our dedicated business managers and with our academics presenting and supporting that to really give you a good picture of what AI is, what it can do, and how it can benefit your business. Coming through to the point where we're starting to look at how we can consolidate that into a business model, how we can develop it into a strategy and a business plan that you can take forward. On from there, then, some of those businesses will identify strategies and plans that are internal or are development activities for themselves. Some of those businesses may identify specific products and recognise that there are key activities coming from the universities and the research of the universities that can really support what they're doing. In the case of those businesses, what we'll be doing is taking them through into our second phase, which is a technical R&D activity, and we'll work with the SME businesses to scope that particular project, to define what it is that's going to be undertaken, what we need to deliver, and allocate it to the team that has the best background and provision to support that, but also the one that has the groups of academics who are most closely connected to that particular area of the technology and the domain. Over that 3-month period, we'll then work with you as businesses to develop those R&D activities right the way through that full phase, delegating that product or service into a launch position so that we have an advanced prototype which is ready for you to take into the business and integrate with the business activity. Obviously, during that process, we need to look at how we fulfill our funding criteria, and the key part for that is looking at how we build a story of the journeys that individual companies have taken, but also the larger picture of development that we're building across the Greater Manchester area. So we'll be undertaking case studies, we'll be writing up these activities, but we'll do that in partnership with you. And certainly we're not looking to expose the secrets of the activity, but capture the real journeys that people have taken and how it's developed and benefited them through the process. Eligibility, well, in essence, we're looking for an SME registered within the Greater Manchester boundary. The project is funded by the European Regional Development Fund and it's very specific to that region. There's no cost to the business to participate in the project, but it may count against some of your state aid allocations and activities. Businesses outside of the GM boundary or the outside of the scope of an SME, we're always interested in working with, but it may be that we can't do that within the vehicle of the AI Foundry itself. Larger organisations may want to get involved in the AI Foundry, and certainly within the Cyber Foundry project, we found that there were several larger organisations, such as GCHQ and some of the larger security organisations within the city who didn't qualify under that SME status, that we started working with and developing a relationship there by which we could support their interactions with the SMEs and the companies and their ecosystem, where they were contracting and using SMEs to provision tools, technologies, and platforms into their own service and activity. The AI Foundry were very interested in doing much the same. In terms of contacting us, well, we're a project that's just in its starting point, so we're in the process of building websites and building activities, but that information is starting to get out there. The key areas for contacting us at the moment are through our website. So if you search GM AI Foundry, you'll start to find the Manchester Metropolitan University websites for that. And as we come into the start of the delivery phase later this month, what you'll see is the other three universities also putting forward their own contact sites. During the course of the project, we'll be running events and workshops and conferences, and some of those will be at some of the larger events across the city. Some of them will be bespoke events for the AI Foundry itself. We have provision for 3 conferences during the running of the project, where we invite SMEs in to look at what we're doing as a consortium and a project, and the sort of research and innovations we can bring to support business growth. The project itself has a set of business development managers, recruited 1 for each of the core universities, and they will be getting out into the community and working with the SMEs across the city, attending a lot of the meetups and events, and engaging with the community and the ecosystem that's there. They will be highly visible and contactable, and as the website's developed, the links and connections to them will be available there. So keep an eye out for the AI Foundry and its communication activity. Over the next 3 years, you will see an increasing amount of AI Foundry activity at conferences and events throughout the city. Finally, before I finish and ask if there are any questions, one of the things that we're interested with the Foundry projects is how we develop these as an ongoing business support mechanism across the whole of the city. We're continuously looking for the next Foundry project to support business growth in the GME region, and ideally targeting the key growth areas, as John was saying, the high-speed, high-capacity networking that's coming could well be a target for us. But we need that to be driven from the local industry and the local businesses and the character of the city. So if you have particular areas that you're interested in developing or interested in us developing a support project around that enables you to access the sort of research and activity we do across the 4 universities, our knowledge exchange programs and our interaction, and also our student bodies, please send us comments and suggestions through on the websites and the communication spaces for the AI Foundry. And we'll pick that up as we start to build the next Foundry project, which will be starting hopefully in another year to 18 months' time, and following on this rapid growth and development.